Welcome everybody. Today I'm really excited to have my husband here, Tom. We've never done a video together, so this is relationship work for us. So we can figure out how we can actually...
Is that what we're doing?
Yes, that's what we're doing. And we wanted to talk to you about breathing. Tom is a yoga instructor and is currently writing a book about breathing. And so I thought, who better to ask to come and talk to us about breathing. So Tom, when it comes to relationships, how do you think breathing plays into that? Why is it beneficial? Why would we even talk about this?
Well, I think it really starts with those impulses that we sometimes have. I wish I had been a yoga teacher when my children were little and was able to stop and take a breath once in a while before I became upset with them about something. And one of the things that I've noticed in my life with Selena has been that it's all pretty much happened since, that learning of breath and meditation and yoga and those practices. And even as lovely as she is, there are moments when things aren't perfect, believe it or not.
Especially when you try to set up a video camera. Try to talk about how we're going to talk about this. And we are both been breathing.
So sometimes it's just that simple piece of taking a breath or two, counting to 10, things your mother told you about, what to do before you got too upset with things. So at a very basic level, that's I think the biggest part of it is just taking a moment and creating a little bit of time to think before, responding to every little thing that you could respond to.
Yeah. And so I've been working with meditation a lot. We have guided meditations where you get clarity on your relationship. But really, I always talk to my clients about having a good daily practice of breathing. Just simple meditation that's breath work, and we'll talk more about that, because it allows us to show up differently, because it allows us to be more centered and just really be there wholeheartedly versus just reacting when you're stressed. So, Tom, as you're thinking, when you tell people how to do breath work, it always seems so, can we call it, esoteric, and people get caught up in how difficult it might be, but really it's quite simple, right?
Well, we come out of the womb and the very first thing we do is take a breath. Unfortunately for most of us, that's probably the last time we really think much about the breaths we're taking.
Indeed, yeah.
And so one of the things that I've really been working on, and I'm working on in the book and writing, is just trying to help people understand, just as we learned how to walk, let's really get a sense of the mechanics of breathing and incorporate an understanding of what we're trying to do into the practice that we're trying to take on with a meditation or breathing practice.
Mm-hmm. So if somebody wanted to start a breathing practice, what would you say? Could you maybe demonstrate for us what somebody should go through, how they should count, or what they might want to do, or give them a little introduction?
No, I'd be glad to. I think one of the things that has gotten lost in a lot of the breathing, because we hear much about taking inhalations, but I think the basic breath starts with emptying our lungs and system completely and having a complete exhale to start off in each cycle. So what I would invite people to do is to go ahead and close their mouth, and we're going to try and do this just through our nose. And go ahead and take a little bit of an inhale and get yourself started, and then slowly just press the air out of your lungs. Maybe even think about leaning forward a little bit and squeezing with your stomach and pressing that air out until you are fully, and it's really hard to talk when you feel, I don't ever do this while I'm talking. So, but the idea here is we want to empty ourselves out completely so that when we relax the muscles that control our breathing down in our lower abdomen, we're able to take a full and complete inhalation. Now, a couple of tricks for this are really just simple things like counting. We want to be sure that the length of our exhale is at least as long as the length of our inhale, maybe even longer if you can manage that. And by incorporating that counting and that slowing down of the breath, both exhaling and inhaling, we start to just gain an awareness of our breath, and the world literally melts away from us for a few minutes. So it's really a great break that really takes a minute or two during the course of a day, or an event, a stop in traffic for that matter, to take a breath, a really good 1, 2, 3, or 4 even, and enjoy the benefits that come from that just in that moment while you're there stuck in traffic or doing something else.
Now, did you address the counting, like how many counts people could count?
Well, I think a good place to start with that is probably around 4 until you become comfortable with counting, to inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, and then exhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, and try and balance those two things. And as you practice this and become more comfortable, then we can extend those counts, to 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, wherever you get to be. And just keep in mind that keeping awareness of it and keeping track of it is really all you're trying to do, because once you're keeping track of those inhalations and exhalations, all the other things kind of go away. It's one of the things when people have a meditation practice, you hear about how hard it is to empty the mind. Well, we don't really empty our mind, we fill it with something else. And in the case of this, we're trying to fill it with the count of our breath. So simple, easy, really great way to start, accessing some of the power that comes in meditation and being in control of things like our breath.
Yeah, I find that counting has absolutely helped me to overcome this idea that I just have to have a completely empty mind, which none of us do. And so just to count in and out gives you something to focus on, but it's quiet enough that you can truly start quieting your mind. It doesn't really take over. So what would you say in terms of how often? Of course, you said, just interspersed in the day, but if somebody wants to set up a practice, would it be good once a day, twice? What would you recommend?
No, it's a good habit. Start with repetition, and I would say 2 to 3 times a day, maybe as a morning start to your day while you're waiting for the coffee to percolate. Literally a couple minutes. Maybe at lunch, maybe again at dinner. Find a schedule that works for you, but find one that works for you so you can work with it and be consistent in doing it.
Yeah, I really love doing it right before I go to bed. Taking a few minutes between the busyness of the day, turning off the TV, letting things quiet down, and just sitting and breathing and then going to bed really helps my sleep as well. So, cool. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Do you have any other things that you wanted to add, or any?
Well, keep your eyes open. We will be publishing a book on breathing here, and it's going to include a few downloads to maybe help sleep and some other very specific kinds of things. So
I will be putting that on my website as soon as he publishes it. If you have any questions, if you'd like a little bit more information, if you'd like the meditation written out, you can click on the link below this video where you can download my meditation jumpstart technique. And if you have any questions for either of us, you can go to my website, empoweredls.com, and you can fill out the contact form. I hope this supports you, and looking forward to seeing you here again soon.